in a place called Calvary. I was wandering into town, and I heard noise. I heard the Romans. The Romans wanted to keep everyone in order. And so I tried to avoid everything and go to the market and pick up the lamb and prepare it for the Passover. But I had to cut through the mob in order to make up ground. So I kept my head down, and I refused to make eye contact with anyone. And I kept hearing the voices around me, and the people, they were talking, and they were cursing this man who was about to be crucified as if he was a thief. And there was others, they were pleading for his mercy. I wanted to look up so badly. In all honesty, my love, I wanted to hear how someone could stir up his own people like he did. And then there was others, they were crying at the top of their lungs and interceding for him to be pardoned. I had to look up, but I kept remembering our own salvation. I kept remembering what we had to do for the Passover, our own transgressions, the lamb that we had to prepare for ourselves. And so I moved faster and faster while this spectacle just passed by. And then something happened that I can't explain. This aggressive hand clamped down on my shoulder, and it was strong enough to turn me around, and suddenly I was face to face with Pilate's guard. And he ordered me to carry the cross of this criminal. He was wounded or dehydrated. That's where I was, my love. What did I do? They ordered it. And so they shoved me into this man who was covered in his own blood. And he didn't say a word. Had a look on his face as if he just wanted to get it over with, and so did I. They placed this heavy wooden beam on me, and my legs began to shake. The wood was cutting into my shoulders. Suddenly I realized I understood what the accused endured on their march to their own death. The smell of this man, his sweat and his blood, suddenly became mine after 2 blocks. And I kept wondering what he did to be treated with such force. They were striking him while I was carrying the wood. Clearly, this man was a threat to someone. And then I heard what his name was. I heard a woman in the crowd. She shouted at the top of her lungs. She said the name Jesus. It was him, the man that we'd heard about. The man that they said grew up right near us in Cyrene, right there in Egypt. And the religious leaders, they shouted his crime. They said that he claimed to be God, the God that we serve. No wonder. A man who claims to be God, he's to be stoned to death. That's the law. So why would he make such a claim? My love, I wish that I was the same man who left this morning, but this man's claim, it haunts me. I started wrestling with the missing pieces of the puzzle. I kept asking myself, if he calls himself God, but there's no sign of any mental illness, there's no past crimes, there's no past records, there's no practice outside of Judaism in his own family, and the people in Jerusalem, they called him Rabbi. So why make this claim? Why call yourself God? Why commit an abomination if you are a teacher of the law? My love, he made this claim for one of only 3 reasons. He was either a liar, or he was mentally insane, or he was telling the truth. I know I shouldn't speak of such things. I know it's not our business to discuss. I know this. But I heard his name. It was his name. We finally reached the place where the soldiers wanted to commit the execution. So I dropped that beam on the ground, but I could not leave. I needed answers. They shoved me into the crowd. I turned around and I looked and I watched them pin this man to the cross. Through his hands and his feet. And when they raised him up, he said something that paralyzed me, my love. He said, "Forgive them." Help me understand this, my love. When pain comes in, pain has a way of squeezing the truth out of us when it kicks in. But the only thing coming out of this man was compassion for the very people that were tearing him apart.